so that's the newest Matt Johnson interview. I've seen about only 2 or 3 minutes of it. It's over an hour long, so they're gonna get into this time. But like I said on the last one, I guess that'll be it. I said maybe this one will finally be it with him and the whole Booker T thing. So hopefully that's over and done with now. But what he's gonna talk about in this one, it's a new one for 2024. Just have my lunch. I'm gonna check this out. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Like I said, it's over an hour long. You know, these long videos. Some of y'all like them, some don't. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, what's Mark Henry's beef with you at the moment?
I have no idea. Like I said, when I left, if you guys noticed, when I left, the nation just dissolved. It disappeared. There was no more good nation matches. There was nothing that Vince could do with the nation, so he, broke them up. And I think that's what he's mad about me about is when I left, that they dissolved. Fruit went his way, which he did a good job with A&P. Kama went his way, Deal went his way, and the McGill Gorilla went his way. So, I don't have any idea what he upset me about.
Yeah, I remember they broke up. So Mark Henry and D-Lo were a tag team for a while. Then Kama became the Godfather. And then it was Farouk and Bradshaw. You already know about The Rock, so.
Well, it seems to be in terms of people taking shots at you that it can come from left field. And just to recap the situation with Booker T up until his podcast comments recently, he had indicated that he was aware that you had some concerns with how he has been referring to you. He was aware that you challenged him to a physical altercation, and he was aware that you had challenged him to this debate in this forum, which, for the record, his people are aware of this debate exercise and have the information to join, but we'll see if he chooses to accept or not. But in his last podcast appearance, he said basically that he would not be engaging in physical combat with you, but if you saw each other, it would be on. He would not, charge you with anything or go to a lawyer or whatnot. He did say that he had nothing to debate you about, given the breadth and scope of his career. And he also mentioned that, contrary to what you have said, that in fact you were the one that created the animosity with.
Nothing to debate about. Like I said, it's good to have these type of podcasts and stuff instead of running into each other on the street. And like I said in the other video, two grown men rolling across the ground. And talk about it and then be done with it instead of all the back and forth bullshit. But seriously. Hopefully this is the last one. Unless, people, they come back and talk about, what does he think about the Vince McMahon stuff going on? Which I'm sure he knows all about it by now. They've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks. So.
With him, and he ended up by making some other derogatory comments about yourself that I don't need to repeat. So just to give you an opportunity to respond to those, sir.
Well, first of all, I think he's mad about a comment I said, and they took it totally out of content what I said. I never said I was trying to sandbagging. I was talking about me being there overweight, could barely breathe, You know what I'm saying? You could barely remember the spot. That was my fault as far as our match went, you know, because I was there, man. I was so out of shape, man. I couldn't even breathe. I'm telling you, it was hard to breathe. So, I mean, I did the best I could do at that time. But, you know, it was my fault, and I'll take that mistake. But the comments he made, now that's something else. Now you're on a different ball game. And, you know, he made them comments and talk trash about me, whatever. And I don't see how he thinks he can talk trash about anybody. Anybody. While I was receiving the most distinguished undergraduate trophy at my basic training camp, he was in prison. You know, and all the things I've done compared to what he's done, it doesn't even match up. It doesn't even match up. Yeah, he went to WWF, WCW, won tag team belts. The WWF won a couple of belts. But we all know that's.
Are you talking about stuff outside of
real wrestling?
Outside of wrestling.
You know, but I accomplished a lot more in life than he has.
Hey, can you guess how can I afford this lifestyle working from home? Last year I made $403,919. I can tell you for a fact.
I remember they cut the guy off, but I'm in another video. He was talking to the kids or the students, talking about he used to train the Tigers or something like that. Wish I could ask him about that, because that's nothing to play with. Training the Tigers, because I remember I was watching a video yesterday, day before. Even though the bear was muzzled, the bear turned to the woman and just took her down to the ground and tried to maul, like from out of nowhere. So I know that's dangerous business.
That the next time, and I can go on the record and say this, and I'm sure that you guys are going to be under the same roof at WrestleCon and may end up crossing paths there.
It may be. Maybe. And like you said, he ain't gonna, you know, I don't know what he said about he's not gonna run or whatever he said. I never asked you to run. As long as you keep my name out your mouth, I'll keep my name out your mouth, my mouth. But you want, you know, talk shit, you want to get it on, let's get it on.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is something.
The invite remains open, but obviously, Ahmed, when this thing was going on the last couple of weeks with you and Booker, it kind of got into the wrestling news, as I'm sure you've seen, and people were weighing in on their opinions. And I just seen about an hour ago before the show started, I sent this to Jack, and Dutch Mantel weighed in on the situation on his podcast.
Yeah.
And he said that Vince McMahon back at the WWF asked him to train you and help you in the ring. And then he also went on to say that if this was a real fight, Booker would kick the shit out of Ahmed, but I wish you well. Any response to that?
Oh man, first of all, I don't remember Dutch Mantel coming to me asking me anything about training.
He's the only person that helped him was Razor.
Dutch never told me that he had me wanting to come to train me. You know, if I would have wanted anybody to train me, it probably would have been Al Snow. But, you know, outside of Al Snow, there was nobody that I would want to train me. And especially not Dutch Mantel, so I don't know where he got off his comments at. But if I ever see him, we're going to have a talk too. We will have a talk if I ever see him. Because I don't know how he got involved in this. But Booker T can speak the floor with me. Please, Booker T can speak for me if I gave him a room.
Well, when you add the comments of Mark Henry into the mix as well, it seems to me to be extraordinarily, mean-spirited and unfortunate. You know, given the fact that there's been a lot of time in between when you worked together, and it's something that is equally, I guess, disappointing that at least with respect to Booker, and I understand he has his reasons or whatnot from his own perspective, that he wouldn't take advantage of an opportunity to clear the air, and it makes you wonder why two legendary figures would be involved in something like this when one is doing all the sniping and not at least trying to in a non-adversarial way solve whatever, squash the beef.
Right. And it's just, like I said, if he took those comments and totally took them out of context. What I was saying, I should explain myself. I was saying I was overweight. We all know that. I was overweight. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I had no business in the ring, man. No business in the ring with somebody like Booker T anyway. Because, I mean, he's, very athletic, very driven. And I had no business being in the ring with him.
Okay, so see, the brother just explained himself, and people still ain't satisfied. Even in the other video a while back, saying that when people in the ref had a problem, he said he admitted he was green, but that was the limit. All this other stuff is another story. And the man just said, I remember in the first video he said he was out of shape. He went anyway for Stevie. He said him and Stevie go way back. So it's like, what the hell, what more do you want? But, if people ain't going to be satisfied, they ain't going to be satisfied.
But now you're talking about in the streets, a street fight. I don't think there'd be no spinneroonies in a street fight. And that's a totally different ball game, the streets from the ring. And his brother would tell him that I'm used to the streets. I'm used to getting down in the streets. So, whatever you think about that, so be it.
So if he's not going to show today, he said that he won't meet you to engage in combat. He's declined to participate today in this. What would, notwithstanding the fact that you could very well likely be under the same roof at some time, in which he said there would be no legal ramifications, it would be on. But what would you say to Booker if this is going to just continue to be out there?
What's going to continue being a problem, we're going to have to talk about it. If he wants to talk about it. But if not, like I said, as long as you keep my name out his mouth, I'll keep his name out my mouth. It's no big deal to me. More way together. We can either go street with it, or we can go like two gentlemen with it.
Exactly. Maurice?
Yeah, one thing I always wanted to ask you, Ahmed, and we kind of got lost in translation the last few shows with all this stuff going on with Booker, etc. But how much would it mean to you to have your acknowledgements represented in the WWE Hall of Fame someday?
You know what? It would be okay, but when you got people like Donald Trump and comedians and all them in the Hall of Fame, really, what kind of Hall of Fame is it? It should just be for wrestlers and wrestlers only. But I don't know what kind of Hall of Fame it would be, and even some of the writers should be in there. Like, I don't know if you guys know Bill Abner.
Yeah.
But Bill Abner should, he's done a lot for the business. If it wasn't for the magazines and the other people who write about it, then we would be nothing.
I agree. The sound guy, not the sound guy. What's the guy? The music guy, Jim Johnson. He should be in there because he was making those theme songs for like 20 or 30 years. he should definitely be in there. You talk about if it's somebody that's a non-wrestler, yeah, he should be in there. Even like I don't think they're gonna bring him back, but the famous referee Earl Hebner, of course, because of the screwdriver thing, but that's over with. We've been talking about that for 20 years. But yeah, there should be like I said, but definitely Jim Johnson not being in there. Come on now, and that man made all those great wrestling theme songs. Even released them on CD back in the day. So yeah, there should be some other folks in there.
Yeah, excellent point. In terms of recent news as well, you probably read or saw that Rock returned to WWE and had a little bit of a deal with Jinder Mahal, and is supposedly going to be in the mix for WrestleMania again. I'm assuming that's true. And I know that
his videos before the Cody thing, way before,
as well in the Nation setup in the WWF. Just wanted to know your memories of that, and whether you saw, the potential that he would be probably one of the top box office draws in Hollywood.
No, but he needs to be on his knees thanking God, because I never seen it coming. And but I can't take nothing from him. The dude's a hell of a performer. And I mean, in the ring, out the ring, even his acting is good. But there's nothing I can take away from The Rock. I mean, The Rock, is The Rock. But the people champion, or the people belt came from me first. When I won the Intercontinental belt, first thing I said was, I'm the people's champion. And you can go back on tapes and look at it. Then he started saying he's the people's champion. No hatred there whatsoever. It's just that I started that and he filled in with it.
Well, Paige said it too, didn't he? Oh, come on, Dad.
Can an oven-roasted turkey breast pack so much succulent flavor that the mere glimpse of it induces turkey sandwich daydreams? If it's Hillshire Farm, oh, hell yeah.
The government is inflating away your retirement savings.
Come on, man.
Here's
Come on.
how to stop them. If you're over 55 years...
Another thing from your career, Ahmed, I was looking at earlier was the Kuwait Cup. Now, we kind of focused on the outside the ring stuff last time from it, but then when I was looking back through the records, and you had a hell of a run over there, beating guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, Owen Hart. What memories do you have inside the ring from that tournament? And I just seen earlier we beat Stone Cold Steve Austin with the Spine Buster in a very aggressive match.
How, with the memories I have of him?
Yeah.
With Triple H, when I was in the ring with him, I was really, really green. He was like one of my first matches. And he got it, he threw the match. He called the match, he got it, he threw it. And, I'll never take that from him. But, then I got to team up with the Warrior and Shawn Michaels. Well, would have been the Warrior, but, he left and Sid stepped in. But it was a pretty good run, man. I enjoyed the run. I enjoyed wrestling with him. I enjoyed wrestling Triple H, because he was calling stuff in the ring like a ring general, and he was on point with everything he called. But yeah, I mean, it was great.
Do you have any memories of working with Steve Austin then? Because you guys had a few matches and one of them was in, as a reference, Kuwait. Do you have any memories of Steve?
Yeah, in Kuwait we had a match. It was funny more than anything. Steve does some really funny stuff in the ring. Gotta make you laugh if you know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And we had a great match in Kuwait. Now, at that time, we were supposed to wrestle in the WWF when he gave me the Stone Cold Stunner. And I was supposed to have a match with him. I don't know why that dissolved, but that didn't happen. I wish it would have, because it would have been a good show.
One of the perennial controversial characters involved, on the periphery of wrestling today, but whom you had professional interactions with was Jim Cornette and his Camp Cornette stable. And I know you often team with Shawn Michaels against his charges. What were those experiences like for you, and did you have a relationship per se with Cornette?
No, I didn't have any relationship with Cornette because I had heard about him even before I got there. You know, I got the word out on him, and he's just not somebody I want to be acquainted with at all. At all. You know, and I don't know what his problem is, you know, because we never interacted with each other.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, John. I think he's referenced you before in a negative light on his podcast as well.
Yeah.
And I think I heard. It could have been a few years ago now, but I heard it maybe a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, I don't know what his problem is because we never interacted at all. The only time I seen Cornette was when we had that match with Yoko, Bulldog, and Owen. Outside of that, I never spoke a word to him.
That's another thing with these people talking bad about him. A lot of people like to go off of secondhand comments, just like with somebody else. I heard this and I heard that, and not knowing what's what. That's how shit gets mixed up. So whether it's him or the Warrior or somebody else, you know, you believe what you want to believe. But yeah, second and third hand comment, that could be just, you know, a rumor. You know, that's another thing I don't like. Okay, quick to believe stuff, and you don't know the main story. How about that?
What was it like with that team with Shawn Michaels in terms of your chemistry with him?
It was a good match. We had good chemistry going, man. It was a real good match. You know, it was me, him, and Sid. But the Warrior was supposed to be there, and I prayed that Warrior was going to be there. But he couldn't come to an agreement with the money situation.
Him and Vince got into it
So he left. And then they brought Sid in, but Sid's a good fill-in. You know, Sid is over big time. Sid Vicious has always been a cool guy with me, man. Always been down to earth. And I got nothing negative to say about Sid Vicious.
One of the things I seen recently, Tony, was the promo that you done with Sonny backstage. I think you shared it on your personal social medias there a couple of weeks back. What do you think of the way everything ended up for her? Like,
she's done now. She's done.
Yeah, she's on a bad path. What was your kind of experience like with her, and are you surprised that she went that low?
Well, like I said on the interview, my mom always told me to take trash out, don't bring it in. And Sonny, she ended up just like I thought she was going to end that, man. I thought she was going to end up with AIDS or something.
Woo!
You know, guys she's sleeping around with. I thought she was going to catch HIV. But, you know, 17 years, I really don't think that's enough. If you killed her, how old was the guy she killed?
72, mid-70s, I think, yeah.
Man, if you live like that long, you're somebody's father, you're somebody's grandfather, you're somebody's brother, you're somebody's husband. And you took that all away from him that you want to drink and drive, which isn't the first time.
You know how I feel about this. If you watch my videos,
drinking and driving.
y'all know how I feel about this drinking business.
Tired of TurboTax?
Go to
Feel like a winner and do your own taxes with Agent Unlock. No living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life. Good, real food is simple.
And you take that and you kill somebody. For 17 years, I don't see that being enough. Because for good behavior, it should probably be out in half that time.
Looking early into your career, you, which I have some questions about, you worked a lot or sometime in Texas, in that territory, and had some matches in the Sportatorium that can ask you about. Did you happen to catch the Von Erich movie, The Iron Claw, that has done so well in the box office? And if you did, your thoughts on that, but more generally, your experience working in Texas, right in the shadow of that Von Erich dynasty in the 80s.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm definitely going to go see it. But I met David Von Erich. I think his name's David Von Erich. I met him, and he was a good guy, man. He was really a good guy. And it's just tragic the way everything happened, man. It's like they had a
That was
curse on
rough.
them or something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they've said. In terms of the Sportatorium itself, we've heard a lot about the state of the building at the time. Were they drawing at the time that you were there for Global, or was it in somewhat of a state of disarray?
Yeah, they were drawing for Global. I mean, they was, packing the house off, when I was there for Global, but, nobody would take care of the building, man. They just let it just dilapidate and just go to waste like they did, man. And that, I hate when they got rid of it and sold it, man, because that was the homework for everybody. That's somebody in wrestling. If you somebody
Were you?
keep the Sportatorium.
Yes, sir. Were you under the impression that Joe Pedicino had a big backer, and the company was going to be a huge deal, and then when it didn't go that way, there was a lot of disappointed people? Did you hear that at the time, that he had major funding?
Yeah, I heard that he had got a big backer behind him, and I guess that wasn't true. But he was telling everybody how he had this big backer behind him, and everything was going good, and they were going to fix up the locker room and fix up the Sportatorium, and none of that ever happened.
So we are 25 minutes away from the end of the show, and there's no sign of Mr. Huffman, as Ahmed refers to him as. So we'll continue on with the questions as normal.
I don't
Tony,
think he's showing up. I doubt
one
it.
man I never got to ask you
I
about,
doubt
Lex
it.
Luger. What was he like inside and outside the ring? I know you worked in WCW together.
Woo, my legs.
Who?
Lex Luger.
Oh, Luger.
I never really got to talk to Lex.
He never wrestled
We
Luger.
talked one time about
I don't think.
our slamming Yokozuna, and Yokozuna only weighed 500 something pounds when Luger did it. When I did it, he weighed 700, and we talked about that a little bit, but outside of that, I really didn't communicate with Lex. I mean, he seems to be a good guy. I don't know anything bad about him.
Jack?
We have a fan question here from a super fan. Can you talk about the rib when Davey did the stink bomb live on Raw?
Oh,
That was something.
yeah,
I'm gonna talk about that.
One of them clowns did, but
Oh, them
they
Davey, you
always
know one.
ribbed me, man. And I had what was going to be my fiance parents up in the press box, watching the matches. And so I go back to the locker room after my match, getting dressed, and all of a sudden I smell something like dog doo. And I'm like, where's that smell coming from? And they started laughing, and then come to find out, Yoko told me they put a stink bomb in my suitcase. And so I had to go up there and meet them, smelling like dog food. And I don't know what they thought about me. They didn't think about me today, but I never asked them, but I don't know what they think about me now. I hope they don't think that was me smelling like that.
Did you ever get ribbed by either of them other than that, or were privy to any?
Man, they ribbed me a lot, and Bret Hart told me, he said, "Oh man, don't get upset if they're ribbing you." He said, "Because only Davey only rib people they like. If they don't like you, they won't mess with you. They won't rib you at all. But if they like you, they start running red for you." And one time, I think I told the story before, when we had WrestleMania in California, and I'm sitting in my room, my phone rings, I answer my phone, and it's the David Letterman show. So
Oh,
I'm all happy,
Dave or
man.
Jalen.
Talking
I remember you
Dave,
talked about that.
answering all these questions. I told him how long I've been in the business, so on and so forth. And he said, well, we'd like to have you on the show tomorrow night. And I was like, man, this is unbelievable. I'm going to Dave Leno show. So I went out and brought me a new suit, brought me some new shoes,
Mm-mm.
jewelry. I was looking good, man. And I'm standing outside.
I would have been angry.
I'm supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. I'm looking at my watch. And it's 8 o'clock. And then, when the baby comes out. And they start talking about, where you going? Looking like that. I said, I got a Jay Leno show tonight. And they said, you got Jay Leno tonight? I said, yeah, I got Jay Leno tonight. And they said, well, your limousine supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah, I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. And I was like, wait a minute, how did you know my limo was coming at 8 o'clock? And when I said
That was dirty.
they just bust out laughing, man. Brett came out and he was laughing, don't put you. They got me good, man.
And we talked about that. It had to have been funny. He said Brett fell over in the damn bushes laughing. So they had they got him good. He said this man bought a fresh suit and shoes and everything. And the next thing you know, okay, there's nobody out there. Nobody. I knew he shook his damn head. I know he did.
Good. I had called everybody that I know and told them to look at Jay Leno's show. And it was them that called my room. It was acting like it was embarrassing.
That's awesome.
That's timeless. Ahmed, do you have any? Do you have any memories of Mick Foley? I know he was there in the late '90s when you were in the WWF as well.
Not really. I mean, I didn't, once again, one guy that I didn't really associate with, Mick Foley. I mean, no clear reason I just never, found the time or we were never in a situation where we could sit down and have a talk.
I was dead broke, but this $5,000 changed my life. Listen close, because all of y'all can get this too. Uncle Sam is
everybody can use $5,000. No shit.
Every American for free.
Was there anyone, like, I know you're not wrestling anymore, but you're looking back on your career, was there anyone that you wish you did get in the ring with but never got a chance to?
I would have liked to get in the ring with Goldberg because, he had that somewhat intensity, not a deep mind, but he had somewhat of intense. Goldberg, even now, I like to get in the ring with Brock Lesnar. I would love to have a match with Brock Lesnar. I think that would have been a hell of a match. Probably been a shoot match, but it'd been a hell of a match.
About Ahmed and Sid, that would have been something.
Sid, I would have liked to
there you go.
See it.
That would have been something.
Sid never tied up, and I don't know why. I think that would have been a good big man match. But we never got to, get in the ring and get it on. So Sid's another one.
Old school fans asked about this one, and it's kind of a deep cut, but you won the USWA title from Jerry Lawler in the Mid-South Coliseum in about 95. What was that like for you, given the history not only of Lawler, but the oodles of wrestling history in that Mid-South Coliseum?
Man, that was great, man. Winning the belt from Lawler.
I didn't even know about that.
When Lawler had me slam him 10 times in a row. He got up, slammed it, boom, got up again, slammed it, boom, 10 times in a row until, he couldn't get up no more. And then, I pinned him, and it was a very good match, man. And it was an honor to be in the ring with, one of the ring generals. It was an honor.
What happened with...
forgetting about that. When I talk about my belt, I keep forgetting about the Memphis belt.
Yeah, I know nothing about that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. What happened with that situation? Were you going to have a long run, or how was that laid out for you?
At Memphis?
Yeah, for the USWA, the title.
No, it was, I don't think it was meant to be a long run. It was something that Vince wanted me to do to go get more training down in Memphis. So that's why he sent me
Had
down
no
there.
idea
And I had no idea that I was
about
going to
that.
fight Lawler for the belt until I got there. And then I didn't know I was going to win the belt. And he did a great honor and couldn't mind.
Yes, I forgot. I heard Lawler had a company. I knew about not Jim Ross. Jim Cornette had Smoky Mountain. But I didn't know. I forgot about Lawler because I think I seen the old wrestling magazine PWI, Memphis Wrestling or something like that. But yeah, it's that's been a long ass time ago. If he had it, because I knew nothing about him being up there.
Name up in that Memphis belt history book.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my good friend there, Niall, he runs the Upper Tier podcast on YouTube, has a question there. He says, do you have any good Road Warrior stories?
No, Road Warrior, man, when I was there, Road Warrior or Ultimate Warrior? What are you talking about?
Hawk and Animal.
Hawk and Animal.
Oh, Hawk and Animal. Hawk was my man. That was my man. And, we went out to eat together. We rode together. We went to matches together. He would have matches. He was booked and he didn't want to take Animal. So he took me as a tag team partner on a bunch of matches. And I just enjoyed him, man. I enjoyed Hawk. Animal wasn't as sociable as Hawk was. You give him a beer and give him a drink and he'll tell you his life story. So yeah, Hawk, I enjoyed Hawk, man.
Got another fan question, coincidentally enough. The aforementioned comments from Dutch Mantelli, he sort of in a roundabout way talked about this, but why did your Double J, Jeff Jarrett,
He talked about he didn't like him neither.
Cut short?
I really don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, even with Jeff Jarrett, I was green, new to the business. Jeff Jarrett was one of the first guys I got. One of the first guys I got to wrestle. And I don't know, if he appreciated me being so green. And I don't know if he went and told Vince something or what. I don't know what the situation was. But, Jeff Jarrett was a hell of a performer. And I was just learning. While I was there, man, I was just soaking up as much as I could.
Another fan question there was, any memories of working against Terry Funk in WCW? I believe you guys worked a match there together, the late Terry Funk.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I got to wrestle. One of my first matches was against Terry and Dory Funk. And, brother, they lay it in there. Their punches were on the money. Their chops were on the money. And when they laid it in there, they laid it in there. These two guys that could really brawl in the street if they had to.
Hey, can you guess how can I afford this lifestyle working from home?
Last year I made $403,919.
Another sort of legendary figure that you had an opportunity to work with early. Sorry, not sort of a legendary figure that you had an opportunity to work with early in the WWF. Your respective tenures was Glenn Jacobs Kane, who was the dentist at the time. Isaac Yank.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Recollections of
Isaac.
that, because talk about a good big man encounter.
Yeah, he was. Kane was Kane. I yanked him at the time, but he was very light, man, on his feet. He was a good guy to work with because he was light on his feet. His punches, you didn't feel anything. Clotheslines, you didn't feel anything. I mean, he was a great worker, man. Kane was a super good worker.
I remember the Kane thing. I don't wrestling with Isaac.
I wrestled him again when he was Kane.
I don't remember that.
So on Kane, he got to just choke slam him.
I remember that, but I don't remember the Isaac thing.
What do you think, and I know this is kind of off topic but on topic, I was watching ex-President Donald Trump on stage yesterday, endorsing Kane, and then he ended up talking about The Undertaker. Is that a bit wild or what?
Endorsing Kane.
Did he?
Oh, Kane is the whatchamacallit. I forgot about that.
No, I didn't know that, man. But
Kane is the mayor of Knoxville now.
Yeah.
He's a big Trump supporter, and he was doing some speech, and then Trump was giving his props to Mayor Jacobs, otherwise known as King.
Well,
I guess Kane retired now.
That Kane and Undertaker had a bunch of fans, so Trump was going to jump on that bandwagon with him to try to get their fans to vote for him.
Tired, man. Ooh.
But no, I didn't see that show. I wish I would have.
I'll send it to you later.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those bizarro world moments, to quote Jerry Lawler, where wrestling and reality intersect, and it's definitely something to see. But I wanted to ask you about your program in '95 against in the NWA in Texas against Bradshaw, who would become JBL, and if you have any thoughts on that, because renowned for his hard-hitting, snug style, as were you.
Brother, we got in there, and I didn't know he was going to shoot during the match, but it was.
You talked another interview. He wrestled Bradshaw.
I mean, he came in with that clothesline Larry he does, and he hit me hard. And so I shot him back the rope. I gave him a kick that should have took the head off. But we did it with respect, you know what I'm saying? I mean, after the match, we were still boys. We were back there laughing at each other. And he's definitely a shooter, brother. He's definitely a hard hitter.
Who was the hardest hitters, Ahmed, when you look back at your time in the wrestling business? Like, I know you like to work with hard hitters, so who were some of those guys that like to give a bit and you could give back to them?
Who's the hard hitters?
Yeah.
Vader. Without any doubt.
Well, them forearms,
Vader,
boy.
Man.
Woo!
When I got there with Vader, he came in the locker room during a match, before our match started. He came in the locker room, he said, "Hey, brother," he said, "you know I love you." He said, "but I'm going to hit you, so hit me back." And I thought he was just joking. I'm like, he's not going to hit me hard, Please. The little Vader things he do in the corner, when he gets in the corner, he did his forearms. Man, I thought he was going to knock me out. So we had a good shoot match, and once again, it was one of them matches where we go to the back and we respect each other. In fact, we rode together that night and stayed at the same hotel that night. And Vader was a shooter, man, if you've ever seen one. The only thing I didn't like about Vader was when them young guys come in, the jobbers, he would shoot on them. And, these kids are trying to make it, man. They're just young kids trying to get in the business. And I don't think that was right to shoot on them like that.
Get those young. Oh,
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first. What?
He caused a lot.
Yeah, he said those young guys used to get roughed up pretty good, and then they said those forearms. Whew. Talked about it in the other video. Those 5 forearms, boy. They said those forearms would kick your ass.
Of injuries, I think, to guys that we've talked to and friends of guys that we've talked to on this show. So that's unfortunate. Did you ever feel that someone ever came to try and deliberately injure you during a match before?
The Simmons thing, right? The kick, boy.
Yeah.
Ooh, that kick was hell.
Yeah.
Was that when the rib injury?
Yeah. And, he finally admitted on podcast that he was jealous of me. He said it. He said, I was jealous of him. He said, I've been in the business for 12, 14 years, and here this kid just comes in the business after 1 year, and he becomes the first African-American champion in history with the Intercontinental belt. And then, after we had that match, and then I gave some payback. I gave him a receipt during the street brawl with me and the Road Warriors. I took him to 7 through the table hard, and it fractured his ribs. But it was, you know, you got to give them a receipt. If they hit you hard, you got to give them a receipt. Otherwise, the rest of the boys will think you're a punk.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm gonna cut it right there. Because pretty much it's everything. And like I said, hopefully now this is it as far as the back and forth of the beef shit. I like watching the reaction to interviews. Like I said, I wish I could talk to him myself, but I'm not the interview guy. So unless he sees this and he messages me, that'd be different. But yeah, that kick to the ribs, boy, woo! And I remember he got the injury, and I remember he sliced his hand. I should ask him about that. I know that shit hurt. I remember he taped his whole hand and fist up. Whoo! I remember that when that happened because he was wrestling with the taped up hand, and I think he said something went through his hand and sliced it. Woo! So I know that shit was painful. Painful. But again, like I said 100 times, y'all just comment. What do y'all? It don't have to be wrestling. What you want me to react to? Because I know, like I do the Ahmed videos, the other wrestling videos, I see 3 or 4 likes. So somebody's watching it. Now, I don't know if it's to subscribers or if it's people passing through. But I hope it, like it's subscribers, because I know some is watching it. Because I know some are here mostly for the wrestling stuff, like now the video games and all this other stuff. I know they probably don't give a shit about none of that. But like I know like the wrestling reactions and stuff, people want to some want to see that. But just let me know something, because like I said, I read the comments. You want to react to. Now if it's copyright, then that's not gonna get it, because that's gonna I'll be recording for no damn reason. But let me know.